Okay, everybody, time for a new tier list, new mid lane tier list. We've digested the patch. A lot has changed. A lot has changed. I don't even remember where I had some of these heroes. I just know we're gonna start with Void Spirit because he was in the F tier, and we need to put some respect on his name. I think you can pick him. I'm gonna put him C personally. I think he's probably D for everyone, but C if you're me. So this is my tier list. I can pick Void Spirit if I want. I'm really good at it. I own real hard. But if you don't own real hard on Void Spirit, I wouldn't pick him up this patch. This is like, you can pick Void Spirit in a good game if you're already good at him. You're not going to like have a good time trying to learn Void Spirit at his current power level. That's the best way I can describe it. Meepo is still cheating. I think that, again, I think this hero is mostly a carry or an off lane, but its second most picked role is mid as of today, especially in pubs. I think it's like most broken hero in DOTA. For sure. At least in pubs. We're gonna keep going. Like, a lot of my favorite heroes are at the top here. Storm, good but not OP. Definitely above Void Spirit. Ember Spirit is the top dog right now. I want to say he's A tier, but honestly, with the Mage Slayer and Shivas, it's like cheating. Like, your Sleight of Fist is the same cooldown as like the Mage Slayer damage, so you get the full damage of the dot without it like if you're auto attacking somebody, it's only doing 20 damage per second. But if you slight them, your slight does 120 bonus damage on top of the spell because you're gonna get the full 6-second dot if you're harassing or if you're poking everybody. And it lasts like just as long as a slight, so you just keep applying. It's basically like hitting a Maelstrom proc 100% of the time on everybody you hit. So it's like really, really broken. It also makes you tankier, which is good. It gives you mana regen, which is good, gives you attack speed. It makes farming easy even without a Maelstrom. Invoker, I think also like B tier-ish. I haven't been playing it too much, but I think it is still quite good, being that he's universal. I don't think he beats up Ember Spirit as bad as he used to. Like, I don't know, I haven't played that matchup that much. I definitely think range heroes are favored against Ember in general, besides Puck. But the problem is, like, you're really not going to zone someone out of lane, like an Ember Spirit, before they kind of get going. So, like, Ember's going to hit level 6 or 7 before he really starts to feel the pain. Like, maybe at level 4 and 5, if you're winning early, you'll be fine. Like, to zone him out, but he'll be fine, honestly. It's not the same as like picking Huskar or Summer or something. Pango, I'm gonna put him in B personally. I think you could make an argument for A. If you're below 6k MMR, Pango drops all the way down to here. Like, this win rate, the hero's win rate is as follows, okay? In Herald, it's like 10%. Heralds can't play Pango. And it goes up about 5% every bracket. So I think around Divine, maybe Immortal, Low Immortal, it starts being pickable. The higher you are, the better the hero. Like, when a 12k player picks Pango, I'm shitting my pants. When a 9k player picks Pango, I'm like, whatever. You know? This kind of is what it is. Puck, I think you can pick it pretty much any game. The caveat being that your lane versus Ember is really annoying. But if you're a really good Puck, you can survive versus Ember. You can go even or beat Pango if you're really good at Puck. Otherwise, it's Pango favored. Like, if Pango hits you with like 3 swashbuckles, it's like pretty rough. But if you dodge the swashbuckles or phase shift half the damage from it, like, it's really hard for Pango, honestly. And then obviously the coil. Puck's also great against Storm and Invoker. Has some good matchups, has some less than good matchups. Lina, I think, like, you pick this hero for fun. I think right-click Lina is more popular right now. The magic build, it kind of got a little griefed. And it's not really... Like, I think the hero is fine. You're not going to lose games just by picking Lina, but it's definitely not as good as it was before. And the magic build wasn't all that great to begin with. The right-click build feels too slow for mid as well. I think if I want to pick a nuker from mid, I would just pick other heroes. And, like, I think Caudle, probably, like, B tier. If you want, like, magic damage and a Vessel, your options are, like, Caudle or Invoker a lot of the time. But Invoker doesn't really have that the damage in the early game. He's more of just like roaming and ganking. Caudle like TPs to lanes and just like kills everything in the early game if he has stuns on his team. Like I'd much rather have Caudle on my team with some lineups, whereas like if you have like an off-lane Viper or someone who needs catch, Invoker will help a lot. But if you have like 2 stunners in your off-lane, like Spirit Breaker and Legion Commander, like you're just gonna be better off with a Caudle than an Invoker in the early game, stuff like that. Caudle's pretty easy to play as well. Viper, I don't know. I feel like it's just an off-lane hero, but I think the hero is just good. Like, if you play a lot of Viper and you're not that good of a mid player, or they have a hero that you need to break against, right? So, like, let's say for whatever reason you're playing against Bristleback, or for whatever reason they maybe like even just like a Dragon Knight or whoever you really need to break. I haven't seen any Bristles this patch. I have to scroll down to really think about break heroes. Tide Hunter's another one. Like, there's a few heroes where break is really value, and because it's on the ultimate now, it makes it really easy to kill those heroes. Even like a PA, the ult goes through BKB as well. So if they have a hero you can break, the hero is going to feel fantastic, even if you pick it for mid. But because of the nature of the hero, like, honestly, buying a bunch of Wraith Bands and playing in the side lane feels really easy. Middle, you have to like maybe buy some Wraith Bands if you're winning your lane, buy some travels, kind of move around a bit more in the early game, and then go to farming. Whereas if you play it off lane, you could just farm for like so long. Like, you don't really have to make any moves on the map, right? You just sit in your lane. Mid, you're kind of forced to buy travels and move around a bit. So it feels weird to play like a Necro and Viper mid sometimes, or even like a Death Prophet. These like traditional off-lane heroes that get picked to win their lane or for like a specific utility purpose. OD, I don't know. I feel like it's B or C. I've had very little success on OD recently, so I'm going to put him down a tier from where I think he might be. Your mileage may vary. I think in theory it should be quite strong, but I just can't. I just don't get the nice games on OD. Like, my side lanes lose, and I can't really help because my ult is 10 billion years cooldown. I think OD, I don't remember I had it in the last tier list, but it was like maybe B or even A, just because Lina was in every game for me, and it's like the one hero that can lane Lina, and it felt really nice. But OD is like so slow. Like, it's so hard to kill anything until like 15-20 minutes when you have like Witchblade and Hurricane Pike or something. Other heroes like Storm just kind of need treads. You know, Pango just wants Diffusal. Witchblade even on Storm. Like, other heroes just buy one item and they can jump people by themselves. OD just feels so slow. It's also really hard to farm without max Q, and you get 3 points in Astral usually. Necro, I could see it being C, but I think it dropped a lot with like the Heart nerf and like some other stuff. Like, just doesn't feel like that scary of a hero, even with a good start. I think you can still pick it. Just know that other heroes are much better. Mage Slayer is really popular, and that hurts a lot of your damage too. Just a lot of reasons not to be too happy to pick Necro. You pick Leshrac if you hate yourself. Unfortunately, they'll probably do something to help Leshrac out. He was balanced around Bloodstone giving him mana for like 4 or 5 years now. And because that item doesn't give you mana anymore, he doesn't have a build. Like, there's nothing in his build-up that feels good for mana. They've nerfed him a lot because of the Bloodstone mana too. Like, if it was Leshrac from 2015, he didn't really need the Bloodstone. You would just go like Yules or whatever, be okay. But he really got owned by the Bloodstone change. So he's just kind of in the dumpster. Think Zeus, you can pick if it's a good game. I tried to force some Manta Pharasma games with the Shard, and I just never got there. In theory, it could be pretty good. Even the Bloodthorn could be pretty good because of the attack speed over a Moonshard, but it's obviously very expensive. It just feels annoying because you pick Zeus, they can counterpick you with Quap. Ember's really annoying for you. Puck is really annoying for you. There's a Mage Slayer in every game. I still think he has some utility. Like, if you see your lane matchup and they have a Terrorblade carry or some range carry that's kind of squishy, you can still do some work on Zeus. I would just have him in like B or A previously, probably. Just the Mage Slayer really messes with them. I think Queen, you can pick it against Pango. It sucks really hard to play against Puck and Ember. The thing that like buffs Quap, like Quap would be in like F tier if Meepo wasn't in every game for me. Or I guess like maybe not lately. I haven't seen a lot of Meepos, but the Agams on Quap counters Meepo so hard that she just goes up like 3 or 4 tiers. Like if there was one below F, Quap might be there. Other than the Meepo, like from the heroes already on the list, like there's no Necro. OD's not that often that popular. You really only want to lane against like Pango and OD and Storm. And those aren't like necessarily the least popular heroes, but the most popular ones for me have been like Ember, Puck. So those matchups are hard and they're the most popular. It is what it is. Quap does feel like a strong hero with Mage Slayer, Kaya Sange, and Plasma and stuff like that, but just bit like meted out. Dragon Knight, if it was up to me, would be in the S tier, but I think you can pick this a lot. Just make sure you go Mage Slayer, no Midas. Midas is really bad. If you go Mage Slayer, then Blink, or you Mage Slayer, Aghanim's Manta, like Mage Slayer, Blink, Aghanim's Manta, you're like so strong with the Mage Slayer and Dragon Knight. You have like 40 billion armor from your passive, and then obviously the Mage Slayer helps a lot to tank the spells. And it is just really, really annoying for heroes like Ember to lane against. It's annoying for Puck. It's annoying for Pango. You lane pretty well against some of the popular mids, and people haven't been picking like Viper or Timbersaw against me that much when I play Dragon Knight, so I haven't like had a super big sample of games. But the hero is so strong once you get to Ag's Manta. It feels like the strongest power spike in the game. And the problem beforehand is you had to get a Midas to get to level 18 with the Ag's Manta later on. But the Mage Slayer is just like better than Midas. It lets you fight early, so you have like a smaller power spike in the early game, and you're not useless. And it also just helps you farm to the mana regen and the Mage Slayer, obviously. Timbersaw, I think you pick this hero if it's a good game. There's some good matchups. Like you pick against Ember. You pick it against Pango. Other than that, like unless you see a Void Spirit, which is kind of rare, or a Dragon Knight, which is also rare, like you don't want to play against any of these other heroes. So normally, I think the past year or so, I've had them in A or B a lot of the time, and a lot of that is because Universal Hero is really popular in Ember, and the Whirling Death is really bullshit against Universal Heroes. But there's been a lot of int heroes this patch from the Mage Slayer and the Plasma being in the pool of items, and that's kind of hurt Timber a decent amount. He's mostly been an offlane hero this patch, but I have seen, like I think I saw Shopify, was it Yopaj playing it today on Timbersaw, went like 40-0 and he laned a Pango. That matchup was like every single day, like 4 or 5 months ago, or like three or four patches ago when Ember and Pango were in every game. But that's just a lot rarer these days. Kunkka, he went down a lot. They've nerfed his Aghanims, they've nerfed his talents, and there's also Mage Slayer in every game, which hurts like the magic damage from his stuff. They nerfed the Heart. There's no Heart Blade Mail. Still, the one build I've found some success with is like, let's say they pick the Pango or Storm or Puck and I'm Kunkka. Buying an Orchid has felt really nice this patch. The health regen from the Orchid actually helps a lot in the early game for these kind of heroes. And going like Orchid, BKB, Aghanims has felt pretty good, but not nearly as strong as he was before. Huskar, I just haven't felt like this hero's as good as it was before, even with Ember being very popular. I just don't think Huskar is that good right now. I don't know. It's like so weird to say, but even when I play Ember, I don't feel that bad about Huskar just because Ember is so broken. Like if Ember wasn't so broken, he would get dumpstered by Huskar still, but it just doesn't feel that bad to get your lane griefed anymore. As long as you're not dying to the Huskar. And a lot of the other heroes, like I played Dragon Knight versus Huskar, did okay. I think Mage Slayer hurts the Burning Spears quite a bit too. I don't know. I just haven't really seen a Huskar win, so it's just fallen a lot for me. Tiny is pick for fun. I had some success at the beginning of the patch with the Mage Slayer Tiny, and that's still a strong build, but other heroes just utilize the item so much better. And not that the hero is unplayably bad, like it's not an F tier, but there's like 15 better heroes than him that I would pick, and like 5 of them that fulfill the same purpose. Like, if I wanted something that runs at people in the early game, I'd much rather pick Ember or Pango, or even Void Spirit. TA, I think you only pick this hero against like Pango, Puck, and like I don't know how the Ember matchup even matters so much right now. Maybe if you're really good at that, or Invoker. Like there's some matchups you could do pretty well in, but it's pretty much a carry hero. I wouldn't say that you can't like C tier is you like basically pick as a counter pick, and TA is still a very good counter pick versus Puck and Pango, I think. The Shard is really, really strong. I think Shadow Fiend is picked for fun or hate yourself. I'm a big Shadow Fiend fan, so I'm going to put him in the fun tier. What else are we missing here? Make sure I include as many heroes as possible that are relevant in the meta. Dazzle's gone, unfortunately. They killed my boy Purple Huskar. I think Mag is like not that bad, but like you have to be a really good Mag, I think. You can put that one there. Put Brood here. We're gonna put Arc here. Arc is actually pretty good this patch. If you are an Arc player, I would say it's like maybe C or B tier, but if you're like a Giga Arc player, it can go much higher in the tier list. It's like way too dependent on if you play the hero a lot, like same with Brood. Arc is just mostly, I've only seen Arc on Europe, and I haven't played much Europe, but I've also only really seen it as a carry. This is a mid-tier list. I can see you having success on Arc mid in certain matchups, and because people just don't know how the hero works. So there is like something to be said that it's not like unplayably mid. Unplayable mid. I think that wraps up most of the mid heroes I can fathom, especially in relation to the meta. Wind Ranger, maybe like for fun. I think it's really good offlane or carry, but I really don't think you should pick it mid. There's Primal Beast. Primal Beast, like maybe. The problem is that the Blade Mail Heart build is super nerfed, and if you want to break, you honestly just pick Viper these days. Yeah, Earth Spirit's not much of a mid either. I think Earth Spirit's just way better at support than mid right now. Which, thank God for Big Chops. You know, he likes that a lot, I think. We'll put Sniper in the Herald tier. Herald, like, super high power level at Herald, dips all the way down. There should be one more. Oh, we forgot Tinker. I'm like perpetually gonna put Tinker here until I play against Tinker. Like I still haven't played against a Tinker since I started making these tier lists, by the way. Lion mid? I'm trying to think of a low MMR warrior that I'm forgetting in the mid lane. It's always Viper and Sniper, and usually I have Viper down here, but he's actually good now, so... Did I put Necrophos in? Where's Necrophos? Oh, I put him in fun, okay. Because I could have maybe put him there. Yeah, I can't think of another mid. I think that's it for the list, guys. So, to conclude, Ember is by far the best mid hero in the pack. And honestly, it's weird because a lot of the Ember counters just don't feel very good, you know? Like I have Huskar and C tier. Normally when Ember is the best hero in the patch, he's at least A tier. Or B. like, how many Ember counters are on here besides like Monkey King? Bat Rider's not middle. Sniper's not bad. Like, the hero specialist and the stronger the lower and more the game is, this doesn't mean the heroes are bad. It just means that they're like, there's no way to accurately rate them, and I want to put them on the list because not everybody that watches my videos is 30k MMR, like King of Reddit. You know, a lot of my viewers, especially on YouTube, 200 IQ, very smart, own 4,000 businesses, don't have time to hit 20k MMR in Dota. They go outside, they're great people. They love, like, fine art and wine. So when they log on for their like weekly game of Dota and their 1k MMR, if they pick Sniper, they're probably going to win. So that's what this tier is for. Or if they only play one hero, like they've played Broodmother since the game came out, go ahead and pick Brood. Nothing's changed. Now, if you ever see a hero specialist or a stronger... Like, if I move Sniper to F tier, we have a problem. So, like, in a future tier list, if any of these heroes move out of this, like, bottom two sections to the F tier, we have a problem. That means they took Broodmother Spiders away, or they made Monkey King's passive heal the enemy. Like, something's bugged. Sniper actually is a melee hero now. Like, something would have to be bugged about the heroes for them to ever move out of this tier, really. But I like including it for the people that only play these, like, very, like, specialist heroes. Like, even Io's in here. Io mid is very popular on EU for hero spammers. And, like, again, even Viper, right? Normally I have Viper, and the stronger, the lower the MMR of the game. Or even, like, Zeus. But the heroes are just good right now. So you can just pick them, even if you're not low. Earth Spirit is not a mid hero, unfortunately. I think he's just 4 only. Like, if you've only played Earth Spirit your entire life and you play it mid, it's not going to be that bad. But there really isn't a point, I don't think, currently. I think Earth Spirit's pretty okay at 4. But yeah, that's it for the tier list. I think this is about as accurate as it's going to get for this patch. So this should be the last mid-tier list until the next bigger patch, or at least the number patch to like shake things up a bit. I might make a tier list for like offlane or support, or like some sort of meme list, like maybe best neutral items or something that might help people. But yeah, thanks for watching. I think that's about as long as the tier list needs to be. Please subscribe to my YouTube. Thank you.